The X card is a useful new tool to make role-playing games more accessible to players. It can be used to protect a player from having to relive trauma during a game and is somehow a controversial subject, especially in the French role-playing game community. Here's how it works and why it is necessary to implement. The X card by John Stavropoulos can be used to end a scene that makes a player uncomfortable or that could trigger them. The player simply has to point to the card or take it and lift it in the air for all to see, and the game master ends the scene there, moving on to the next one. This is a great system because the player doesn't have to ask or debate with anyone to end what could be a very difficult moment for them. After all, role-playing games are stories we tell together, and so these stories make us invested and close to the characters while exploring many different themes. Many players are equipped to deal with any themes they encounter, but as the role-playing game community becomes more inclusive, we open doors to new players who have issues we didn't foresee. In order to be welcoming, we have to implement systems like the Lines and Veils system and the X card to accommodate those players. Special shout out to the Spire for integrating both of these systems in their core rules. Here are some statistics to explain why some subjects could hurt someone. 1 in 3 women is sexually assaulted in their life. Around 8% of the population has a phobia, and when we have such players in our games, we should avoid mentioning the source of that phobia. 18% of the population suffers from anxiety, and there are many more mental illnesses that are linked to traumatic events. These trauma can be re-experienced all over again if the person gets triggered by an event, and that is a very difficult moment for that person. The X card allows us to play a game we enjoy while giving us protection from a mental breakdown. So it is a necessary tool for us as a community to be welcoming of everyone and inclusive. Another great tool that works well with the X card is the Lines and Veils system. Simply put, before the game starts, the players establish together if there are subjects they don't want in their games. These are the lines. And subjects that can be mentioned but not described in too much detail. These are the veils. For example, I personally don't want to play a game where a player character engages in rape or child abuse, so I establish these things as lines. Also, I'm not comfortable describing sex or torture scenes, but I'm okay if my characters have sex or get tortured. This way, sex and torture are veils in my game. The X card complements this if a player isn't comfortable expressing all the aspects of their trauma or mental illness to other players when the lines and veils are established, which is totally fine. Those two systems are our way of expressing that we think trauma is something serious and that we respect the people who have gone through a lot, which is why I am appalled by the reaction of the French community at the idea of implementing the X card. What the fuck, guys? I have seen you post so many articles saying that the X card is disrespectful to the game master who prepares the adventures because it skips parts of their story. Fuck that idea, and fuck you, French community. A good game master is here to ensure everyone has a fun time, not trigger their players' trauma. A good game master can improvise things and allow their games to continue. We need to respect all players instead of joking about their trauma. I've seen you rant about the fact that life is pain, so it's okay to mention any pain in your games, no matter the consequences. Fuck that! If you really can't have any considerations for the suffering of others, then you are an asshole, and you should be kicked out of the community. When I made a review talking about mental illness and how players tend to misrepresent it in their characters, many people said their players were respectful of mental illness and did their research. This proves that in some countries, players don't do that enough, and we need the X card to be better players, better game masters, and for many of us in the French community, we need it so you can act like decent human beings. This is the Endorses, and I fully endorse the use of the X card and the Lines and Veils systems. If you want to raise awareness of the issues we talked about, or if you find this tip could be useful to a game master you know, please share this video around. If you want more tips and techniques like this, consider subscribing to this channel, and you can also see other game master tips right here or like the video. Have a nice day!